I can't see if it's live on the phone.
Oh, it is live.
Great. Then good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is another edition of New York by Night, the vampire venue, where we find ourselves deep in the um, crevices of, of the bunker, where Lucius, after a successful mission, um, comes back with one of the casualties of war. On his shoulder, he is carrying a body bag, and in that body bag is the dismembered body of his coterie member called Scott Langwood. Lucius will not wait for any other location. He will go straight to where he needs to go. He will go straight to the area where he knows that he can find the intrepid Nosferatu of Nosferatus, the lovely Theodore.
Um, it's not too long after he's entered. The theater will just say, "Oh, I heard you were out and about, but how concerned should I be?"
Well, it's not a bag of dust, and although the body is more mutilated than I hoped, this just was a effect after he lost control of his inner beast, so to speak, and started to descend into a frenzy with no proportions.
Theodore just watches him for a moment, and that, when you have a clear head, is very well, very well. Please follow me this way, and you will go to a more secluded place within this bunker, as it's called, and just please put him down over there. So, let's have a look at the gap, and he opens the body bag and looks down. Just um, am I? How exactly did this happen?
Well, we were interrogating a now very much deceased enemy of the sect for information, which he gave up after a while. However, during this interrogation, the at that moment still mouthy individual set of upset Mr. Langwood quite a lot, which resulted into Mr. Langwood's loss of control. And
So
when
you
the beast got
decided
hold of him,
to rip his arms off.
no, this is one decision I made, although I take responsibility. He couldn't, for as long as we could tell, keep his beast under control, and the only way for us to ensure that we could grapple him so he wouldn't um,
Have you
at
heard
that
about the
moment
invention called a knife?
well, a
Stab
knife
him, and
was
he will calm down at some point.
uh, the point is when the attack happened, I was in no position to change my action because I was the one holding him, not the one attacking him.
Then whose brilliant decision was it to rip his fucking arms off?
um, this was all done in a matter of combat, and this was well, an effect of Miss Kate, who I believe in a panic because she couldn't um, overpower him, I should say. Um, Decided to diminish his capacity to destroy the person that we were talking to, and decided to remove limbs. Although not
Oh,
my first choice, you do understand that in this combat situation, or even in this situation, the initiator of this aggressive stance was
I'm
your
aware.
pupil.
I am
So,
fully aware.
in her
But
defense, this wouldn't have been my choice. However, the choice was rendered eventually successful. Now, I rather would have seen stab wounds in order to make sure that he was taken down with some more dignity. Um,
thank you, Mr.
this
Kaltenbrunner. That
this
would be
wasn't.
that will be quite sufficient. Please make sure to remind her that she should use her knife instead of dismemberment for the future. Um,
I will remind her. If you want, I could send her over to you in order to explain herself.
I will have a chat with her myself. Thank you.
Then I will consider the matter closed between us. You're of
Very much
course
so.
always welcome as an elder to question our methods, tactics in the heat of battle.
I'm not questioning that certain things happen in combat. No,
Well, I consider this an effective combat, and although I'm not proud of the result, I do applaud the fact that she got the job done.
quite
Like I said,
so,
I
Mr.
don't think
Kaltenbrunner.
this is showing any dignity towards Mr. Langwood, and I do believe that both of them should have a heart to heart when this is all over. But as of now, I was very happy that she did so because Mr. Langwood is, as you know, an admirable warrior and is not completely incapable of taking down multiple adversaries.
Quite so. Well, Mr. Kaltenbrunner, I believe that, well, you said it was successful, so you did get information.
Oh, we got a lot of information, which I'm very welcome and happy to share with anyone who is ready to listen. I've got a good structure of what we're up against. I know which gangs they're using. I know who the Templars are, although not by name. We got a firm description of every one of them. And also the areas they're using. We set up a sting and we left a message.
Very well. I would like a written report of what you found, if you
But of
could.
course,
And, of course, notify the Mr. Isaac as well at your earliest convenience. I
I will
will,
write one for our warlord first, and you, of course, can have as many copies as you like.
one will suffice. Please. Um, I will just have a moment with Mr. Langwood.
Of course, when Mr. Langwood feels more himself, um, I am more than happy to accept him back into the folds of the unit. After all, situations in battle happened, and from my personal point of view, there is nothing that Mr. Langwood did wrong. He simply was a very passionate warrior in a very difficult moment. And Mr. Carlton Bruno Lucius will click his heels like a soldier, and then, if you dismiss me, sir, I have a report to write.
Indeed, you have. Have a pleasant evening.
Good evening, sir. And Lucius will click his heels and then make his way to the desk where he writes his reports.
Um, Theodore will just look into the body bag, just get a clear look at it, and just stands there for a couple of moments, just regarding the fairly brutal way that this has been done, but he just examines it and just nods to himself, and will get. First of all, he will get like a giant. It's like a large plastic jug to hold liquid, and it's the acute observant would say that it's probably filled with blood. He's yanks it up from a storage space he has, and he just chucks it down, opens it, and then he will feed Mr. Langwood with some of his blood. He will get him 2 blood points, which at which point he will hold up the jug and more or less pour blood into Langwood's mouth.
Langwood wakes up. He was torpid, but not because of lack of blood, so he's not hungry. He wakes up, looks around. Eyes goes big when he goes. He sees he has an arm, only one arm. What the hell happened?
I believe you have both arms ripped off, right?
No, one. Isn't it?
I believe it was 2, but anyways, Theodore will just say, "Well, my good boy, it seems that you lost your temper somewhat." And he looks over his shoulder, and some of your coterie mates, he does that in quotations with his fingers, coterie mates, decided that the best course of action was to, while you were losing yourself, rip your arm off.
Couldn't they
I
just take it?
question this action, and I will have, as I'm quite sure you as well, will have a discussion with them as to how and why this was a viable option. I failed to see how this was productive in any way, but oh well. I have some blood for you if you need it to repair the damage.
It
But
will take a while.
I will have a talk with Kate myself at her earliest convenience, of course. Perhaps I will tape something to her, tape it to her, and make sure that she remembers that she can stab people for some effect as well.
Along goes, thank you, mentor. Well, actually, out of character, what does he like me to call him? Here, just Theodore.
Yeah, Theodore is fine.
Yeah, thank you, Theodore. It will take a while, but I think I will need the blood that you offer in order to heal.
Well, I forget your certain. Well, I can offer you blood, but I do not really know your. Well, it may not suit your tastes, to be perfectly honest.
I'm not, because I'll do what I can to heal. It will take a while.
And you will require a bit more than normal, but it should be possible for you. Please, if you have trouble acquiring this blood, you can divulge some information, and I will perhaps be able to help you.
He'll nod, and he'll bow. Thank you, Theodore. I will see you, and I will contact you if I need you.
Very well. Do take care of
And
yourself.
he'll bow.
As he leaves, Theodore will just sit there and just he will just take up one of his notebooks, and he will write "talk with Kate," and he'll write several other things under that line. But yeah, write that down, and he will go about his business. And as he does that, we will end our scene. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.
Okay.